Good morning, it's 8 o'clock. Thanks for joining us here on CTV Morning Live. Here's a look at our top stories. And we begin in South Africa, where former South African President Nelson Mandela is on life support this morning. Mandela's family provided an update for us today, saying he remains in critical condition. With more, here's CTV's Ben O'Hara-Byrne from Pretoria.
Yes, huge crowds continue to gather here today at the hospital outside Pretoria, where Nelson Mandela is being treated. A lot of speculation, of course, that his health has deteriorated, prompted mainly by the fact that South African President Jacob Zuma canceled a brief trip to neighboring Mozambique last night to remain behind. The family, though, of Nelson Mandela have been here today as they came out to see the tributes here to him. They did say that he remains in critical condition but stable. His eldest daughter, also speaking to a South African radio station, said that while he's waning, he's still here, still responding to touch, still trying to open his eyes. So certainly a very anxious time for all South Africans, the world too, watching and waiting for news on Nelson Mandela's health. But as many people here have told me, they've simply come here to pay tribute to him, to his legacy. Many parents have come here with their children, saying that they want their children to know who this man was so that his legacy will live on through generations here. But as his daughter said, right now, anything is imminent, and that will give you an idea of just how anxious these moments are for all the South Africans and all around the world, people watching this hospital. Ben O'Hara-Byrne, CTV News in Pretoria.
The slumping Canadian loonie could have a big impact on cross-border shopping and tourism in the capital this summer. The dollar is sitting at 95.43 cents U.S. this morning, down from $1.02 U.S. at the start of the year. The high dollar could mean fewer Canadians heading across the border looking for deals this Canada Day long weekend. Joining us now here in the newsroom to chat more about the loonie is Ian Lee from the Sprott School of Business. Mr. Lee, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
What is causing the loonie to drop?
The loonies dropped very dramatically, very quickly, really in 2 weeks, and it's being driven by two things. The markets, of course, are always driven by two things: fear and greed. In this instance, there's fear. The fear that China is slowing down. China has a lot of problems in their financial sector. Some think there's a credit bubble there. Slowing down, therefore buying less of our stuff because we export a lot of commodities. And the second reason is Ben Bernanke at the Federal Reserve was musing that he was going to stop QE, quantitative easing, which in plain English means printing money, and that put more fear into the markets. And so flight to safety, U.S. dollar. If the US dollar goes up, Canadian dollar goes down. So that's it.
Some economists believe that it's going to continue to drop until 2014, maybe as low as 90 cents. What's your opinion?
I have enormous respect for those economists at both the TD Bank and at BMO. Doug Porter. They're very, very good economists. At the same time, I have to respectfully disagree with them. I'm with David Rosenberg, another very distinguished economist. He argues that people are shorting, are too pessimistic on the Canadian dollar and the Canadian economy. Unlike the other currencies that are dropping like a stone, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and Brazil, which are heavily as metals exporters, you know, iron ore and that sort of thing, we are nowhere near as much exporters of metals as we are of energy. Energy is 25%, of course that means oil and gas. In a recession or in good times, you still have to put gas in your car, you still have to heat your house, even if you're unemployed when it's 20 below zero. So that's not as fluctuating. Oil exports don't fluctuate. And the other 25%, a second 25% of our exports are cars and wood. In other words, houses and autos. And those two sectors are coming on strong in the United States. So therefore, when you step back and look at it, yes, the Canadian dollar is going to be down probably around 95 cents for the foreseeable future, but I don't think it's going to get down to a 90.
You don't think we're going to see it as the others are saying?
No, I don't.
Okay, Ian Lee from the Sprott School of Business. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure, Annette.
Ottawa residents have higher education, love to carpool, and enjoy taking public transit to work. The 2011 National Household Survey by Statistics Canada shows Ottawa-Gatineau had the largest proportion of adults with a university degree. 38% of adults had a university degree, followed by Toronto at 37% and Calgary at 35%. When it comes to getting to work, 22% of residents in the National Capital Region carpool. And we spend an average of 26 minutes commuting every day. Ottawa-Gatineau had the third highest proportion of transit users at 20%, trailing only Toronto and Montreal.